What's the real difference between a manager who is just okay and one who's truly great? Honestly, it's not about having a fancy title or being in back-to-back meetings. It's about mastering a kind of core operating system for success, a set of basic principles that turn total chaos into crystal clarity. Let's break down exactly what that operating system looks like.
It seems like such a simple question, right? But the answer can feel, well, pretty complicated. When you get past all the emails and the team huddles, what is the fundamental thing that effective managers are doing to guide their teams and hit their goals?
The answer really comes down to this one number, 4. There are 4 core functions first laid out over 100 years ago by a guy named Henri Fayol that still, to this day, form the absolute bedrock of great management. And figuring out how they all work together, that's what separates the best from the rest. So here's our game plan. First, we'll nail down what a manager's job really is. Then we'll dive into those 4 functions, starting with the foundation. That's planning and organizing, before we fire up the engine with leading and controlling. After that, we'll see how it's all a continuous cycle, and finally, what this all means for being a manager today.
All right, so what is this manager's blueprint we're talking about? Well, it's built on these 4 essential pillars: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. I'm telling you, every single successful project, team, and company you can think of rests on these 4 functions. Let's start building from the ground up. So we're going to start with the first 2 functions, which really are the architectural phase of management. You can think of it like this. This is where you draw the blueprint for the building, and then you get all the parts and pieces together to actually bring that vision to life. It all begins with planning. This is step 1, and it's absolutely crucial. Without a plan, a company is basically a ship without a compass, just drifting around, hoping for the best. Planning is what sets the destination and gives a purpose to every single action that follows.
Now, good planning isn't just wishful thinking. It follows a really clear structure. You start by scanning the environment. You got to know what you have internally and what's going on in the market externally. From there, you set very specific, measurable goals. And only then can you actually figure out your strategy, the path you're going to take to get there.
But let's be real. A brilliant plan is completely useless if you don't have the structure to execute it. And that brings us to organizing. This is the function that turns that strategic blueprint into a functional reality. This is where you actually build the machine.
So, what does organizing actually involve? Well, it boils down to 3 key things. It's about getting the right resources, your people, your budget, your tools, to the right places. It's about creating a clear structure so everyone knows who's doing what and who reports to whom. And it's about designing specific jobs so that every single person's role directly helps achieve the plan. It's all about making sure the gears are meshing perfectly.
Okay, so we've moved from the blueprint to the engine. We've got our foundation in place, and now it's time to bring it to life. This is where leading and controlling come into play. They provide the power, the motivation, and, just as importantly, the course correction.
Leading is the spark. It's the truly human part of this whole equation. While planning and organizing create the structure, leading provides the energy. It's all about communicating that vision, motivating your team, and inspiring people to bring their absolute best to work every single day. This distinction right here is so critical. You manage systems, you manage processes, you manage resources, but you lead people. A truly great manager is fantastic at both, because they understand that you need efficient systems and an inspired team to build a culture of trust and high performance.
And finally, we have our 4th function, controlling. Now, I know that word can sound a little harsh, but this is not about micromanagement. Think of it more like the navigation system in your car or the quality control phase on an assembly line. It's the feedback loop that makes sure you stay on track to your destination.
And controlling isn't a one-time check-in, it's a continuous loop. First, you set the standard. What does success look like? Then, you measure your actual performance against it. You compare the results to see if there's a gap, and finally, you take action to close that gap. It's this constant cycle of feedback and adjustment that lets a team be agile and ultimately hit its target. So here's the most important point to take away from all of this. These 4 functions are not a checklist you just do once and then forget about. No way. They are a continuous, interconnected cycle. Each function feeds into the others, and they have to work in perfect harmony.
Here's a quick look at how it all fits together. Planning is all about mapping the future. Organizing builds the framework to get you there. Leading provides the human energy to drive performance. And controlling makes sure you stay on course. You see, you need every single part for the whole thing to work.
Because if just one part fails, the whole system just falls apart.
I mean, imagine having a brilliant, world-changing plan, but zero organization. What do you get? Just pure chaos. Everybody's running around, but nothing gets done.
Or how about this one? Imagine a perfectly organized team with a solid plan, but no effective leadership to inspire them. The result? Apathy. Nobody's motivated, morale tanks, and performance just flatlines.
And maybe the most dangerous of all, imagine a fired-up, motivated team taking tons of action, but with no controls in place. You could be going full speed ahead in the completely wrong direction, burning through time and money without anyone even realizing it. That's a recipe for disaster. But you might be thinking, okay, this framework is over 100 years old. Is it really still relevant today? The answer is a huge, resounding yes. While our workplaces and tools have changed dramatically, the fundamental challenges of management make this blueprint more important than ever.
For example, leading a remote or hybrid team requires a way more intentional approach to communication and motivation. We now have AI and big data that can supercharge our planning and controlling functions. And the massive emphasis on emotional intelligence has made empathy a totally non-negotiable leadership skill. The tools change, but the core functions, they're timeless.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Whether you're a manager right now or you hope to be one someday, which of these 4 functions, planning, organizing, leading, or controlling, is your biggest opportunity for growth? Because mastering that one thing might just be your next big step towards success.